really edit my settings while Discord detects that I'm streaming, but doesn't really matter. Oh, I just finished my morning coffee. I think I have some tea left over from yesterday. Let's pour some in. Right. Well, I guess before anyone joins, oh yeah, test. Let's time to test my. Oh, I didn't update the names, the stream name. Wait, I can still do that. I think. Wait, test. Can I see it on stream? Guess I'll see it here. Yeah, I guess you can see the message. All that matters that it's visible. Oh, I can't update titles. This one, number 10. Ooh, anniversary. Let's do localization. Localization is exciting. Yeah, localization is exciting. Python. Update. Right. So I've done updating my stream on stream. Very on brand. Love it. Right. Now we can actually. Yeah, this is an intermission video. Okay. Let's change the angle of my chair to indicate how serious I take this. I'm even sitting up straight for this. That's how serious localization is. I actually started doing a little bit yesterday. So what I did, I created a file for each language. And the name corresponds. I guess the names don't really matter. Maybe I could just. I'm not sure. Maybe the name is the thing that should matter. Don't really know. I'm undecided yet. Right. So localization, the point of localization and everything. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to watch my stream stats. Go back to. Right, no, this is the wrong. Get back to Twitch. Okay. And channel. Where is it? Stream summary. Yeah, stream manager, okay. Have that open so I can see what's going on Twitch. Probably can close this dashboard thing. Oh, this doesn't work. Amazing. Oh well. I tried and failed. Well, trying is first step to failure. And that's the proof. Right, so localization. Right, but actually, so how it, well, oh yeah, the localization is currently broken. Right. I thought about these loggers as well. I think there is no workaround for having to type it multiple times. But instead of doing it like this, like each time I need to do something with it, redoing the whole thing here and here. Also, I need to remove them. Yeah, here it has to be removed. So not only I need to be adding file handlers, I need to be removing them beforehand. Because if I just keep adding them, then eventually what will happen? Okay, I can demonstrate what will happen actually. Currently it is in erroneous state, like there's a bug. Will this actually work? Guess I'm here to find out. I think it will crash because the configuration now is completely messed up. Like the file was moved and all the settings from it, well, majority of it, well, the translations in particular have been moved. Let's see. Oh, what I can do, I could have it set up in a really cool way where I have language and then in each like these well, these indicate sections, so they can you basically, when you get an object for parsing these, you get a dictionary of sections, and each section is indicated, like the beginning of the section is indicated with this syntax. So this means this is en section. So for example, and the cool thing is, since I already have this name, basically the name corresponds to the setting in the database. Right. So that's how I know which language I need to use for that user. Right. And currently it was defined as a section, so the same file had all the languages, and each language was in a different section. But since I'm moving away from that, I can have sections indicate different menus. So I have a section for the main menu, I have a section for, and maybe I have a default section. Yeah, if you don't define any section, or how does it work? I don't remember. Basically, there is a default section. It's like a global scope, I think. Well, it doesn't really matter. I could change it so... Okay, someone just messaged me. See? Oh! Look at that! Amazing. Okay. Always... I guess it is the bane of modern days. Bane of age of technology. Spam. Automated spam. Nothing gets your blood flowing than like getting some spam in the morning. About cryptos, or was it about NFTs? Like, same scam. Same scam, different hand, basically. Right. Provided is not a valid webhook. What is for... Okay. I'm getting distracted. It's as if my brain is looking to be distracted. And I'm not sure that's a good thing. Config parser, get boolean. So yeah, this is... well, actually, when I look at the file itself, it does have a section named default, which I am not sure what that's about. let's see. I think well, I was just looking at the documentation for this feature, and it does have sections named, like it does have sections. And how does it get sections is, yeah, config default. Yeah, so it has default as a section, and that's how it acts. That is how it's accessed. Well, actually this isn't. Is this config default assigns a value? Org is an empty dictionary. This is a dictionary. Yeah, this is an empty dictionary. And a very odd one. Well, not an odd one, it's an empty, but it's mutable. Yeah, meaning so if you operate on this, then the value will be changed on it. So, well, it's well, someone came to my stream and explained to me that it can introduce weird behavior you wouldn't usually expect. I guess the authors of the documentation didn't expect it to have it as well. File is described in the following section. Okay, let's see that following section. Supported in a file structure. Well, I guess, does it have to be in a file section? In a file? I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter the extension. Worked fine when it was CFG. In my case. But I guess ini makes more sense. Let's try renaming a file into ini and see. Oh, maybe not this one. Let's try with language, maybe. What settings can I? There are some settings. Logging should be a separate configuration file for logging, in my opinion. File logging. And let's name it ini. And it does seem like it's opened the same editor. Well, I'm purely judging by the icon it shows. Looks like a text file. Like, no, nothing. I don't see anything different between these because you see these have a P in the name, indicating that it's a specific. It recognizes that it is a special file, and when you open, like, that's how it knows that it needs to go, like, well, it judges by the file's extension, and yeah, doesn't look like ini has anything useful. It's just default editor, and you can I actually select an editor for files with PI? EY. Open with. Yeah, it has Python editor, so it knows that it is a Python file. Generic text editor. Can I open this with generic text? I can. Is there any difference? Oh, okay, let's try generic text editor. See how it looks. Let's see. So, default. Okay, let's have default. And logging configuration actually looks like log levels, std. Oh, so these are values, endpoint, URLs. Okay, these can stay in the don't show this on stream file. Or the database credentials, trial days, I guess that can stay as well. Don't really have a better place to put them. And test. I only have one test value actually. So let's see. Let's change language. Hashtag test values. Test mode configuration. Oh yeah. Where should it have test mode enabled? Because currently it reads test mode from this do not show on stream file. Well, whatever, I guess I can keep it there. And just have test file log level, info. So yeah, these are the same at the moment. Right. So now it's not gonna work for certain, because with labels it kind of has a fallback to use if it fails to get the label. But with login configuration, it doesn't really have fallbacks. Yeah. Tries to read and assign the values, and if they're not there, log to file, so this will fail. Well, basically config parser needs to be set up in a different way. So file name is initialized here. I guess I need multiple to define multiple configuration files. Well, will they ever change? Do I actually need to initialize this? Because all it does, well, I guess it tests if this file actually exists. Why wouldn't it? Well, I guess if it doesn't exist, if this file doesn't exist, then nothing can be done. I guess the same goes for configuration settings as well. Config file. Well, I mean, login configuration. Login config file. Let's name it config slash, and then its name was logging in. Let's change it to CFG because I'm just used to CFG. It just seems more natural. This. Yeah, I have it open in different editors. So logging file, and it checks. Should check both, or doesn't exist. Login config file, and login config file should be declared here. Logging config file. Actually, it doesn't. I guess if it's declared here, I can just use. Let's see. Let's make sure I didn't make any typos, because that's the thing. Yeah, it is the same. Didn't make any typos. So it checks if both don't exist. I guess I don't know which one at this point. Config file, maybe files do not exist, or does not exist. I guess both are possible, so let's just cover our grammatics, semantics. Not really sure how to describe this. Right, so the error is, the logging will be at least accurate. It won't be detailed, but it will be accurate. And that makes sense. Right. So the init config, all it does is just checks that the files exist. Otherwise, yeah, it doesn't really care. Well, I'm not sure which is better. Actually, how can I do this? Wait, it used to be a different. What was it? Wait, wasn't it? Okay, I need to check the. Oh, it has percentage %s, and then you can. Okay. Exist and then do the same again, percentage %s, and now we'll just pass in array. Let's see, and the array will contain config file and self login config file. Yeah. So I won't say which files do not exist, but it will say what files it checked. Well, and one of them failed. L exist. Location exists, that's what it means. Guess what the path exists returns true, broken symbolic links. Ah, so symbolic links, so link exists. Okay. Full stat. I guess OS package is different for different OSs, so maybe that's why it doesn't really want to open. Well, it doesn't really matter. I kind of want to test this now. Let's change to something that doesn't exist and try running it. Oh, it's running main file. No such file directory. And in singleton it crashes. Config files do not exist. Oh, okay. So it does print out the names. Well, it does show that it is an array, but you can definitely. Well, the important thing is the names of the files is here. It's actually visible, and now if I run it, it shouldn't crash in the same place. Yeah, it doesn't crash at all. I guess the logging just doesn't work. It has some initial values. Test mode me. Wait. I guess it just logs default behavior. Oh yeah, test mode is enabled in the do not show file. Do not show on stream. Okay. Kinda, I like this. I like this setup. Feel like it seems appropriate. Might seem a little bit dumb spending this much time on loading configuration, but I don't do this often, so that's why it takes a while. Well, that's why I'm kind of okay spending more time figuring out a good way to read files. I'm sure there's a pattern that someone figured out an optimal way to do this, but you know, this is more fun. Just well, you end up with something like this, but you know, gives you something to work with. Something to do, I guess. Let's see. Test mode. Right. Why is it global? I don't think I need this. Yeah, it's all been replaced, and this variable should be removed. The only things that need to stay is these, and even then it's questionable if I actually need them. Well, I guess I need them to remove them. Because I don't, well, I won't, well, the whole point, they are global. They don't have to be global. I can initialize them inside here and like this. Well, they could be part of the configuration initialization. But then, before it's configured, I wouldn't be able to log anything. So that's the only benefit of having them in the global scope. And it is kind of like, I don't like to use global variables, but I mean, like, I'm not losing a lot. Let's see, before the logging gets initialized, I'm one line of code. Like, okay, so 2 lines of code would be lost to move it out of the global scope. Well, kind of feels like it's worth doing. Damn it, I guess I have to do it now. Because well, I was hesitant because I don't want to lose the initial logs. But if I'm logging just two lines, well, it's pretty much one. Well, it is the first thing you do, is set up logging, because, well, you kind of want to know what's happening. You want to have a way to monitor what's going on. So all of this has to be moved. Setup formatter. I guess all of this actually. This is even commented out. Default log level. Do I need this? Do I actually use this anywhere? I don't think I do. So this logging setup will be moved into init config. Well, probably not after the logging. And the log, oh. Let's see. I think the logger has to be defined here. It will try to log something, but with default configuration, I think it just out something into the standard output. It won't log into the file. And all of this stuff. Oh, I have a clever way. Clever, well. Alternative way, let's say, to do this. I kind of want to define a special dedicated method for this. Define. I want to have 2 methods. One for removing all the loggers, enabling all of them, and one for disabling. So let's say enable loggers. And I don't really need any parameters. All I need is to have an array. So this is what I was talking about. I can't really, well, since I want to have access to these values without copy pasting, so using dot notation pretty much. So in another file I want to say sing and constant. Oh, it's not sing, it's actually singleton. It refers to the module. And yeah, now I have the loggers. See, main logger. I don't actually like the names. I should change it to C logger. Let's see. C logger singleton. You know what? Do it better. Shift R. Yeah, nope. Open resource. I need Alt Shift R. And this will let me rename them. So this will not only rename this variable name in the def, well, where I marked it, but it will rename it in all the references. So now it's renamed here. It should be renamed everywhere else where it was referenced. Well, I guess singleton logger is not referenced anywhere else. Let's try with main logger. So C logger main. And now in the main file, it should have renamed C logger. Okay, it didn't rename it in other files, which kind of sucks. Logger main. But I guess there's only one place where it's gonna be used. Or at least one place where it should be used. I'm kind of okay with that. C logger menu. C logger menu. And menu will have, there's the menu, log, C logger menu, right? Okay, I'm giving up. Actually, new bot is the one that uses main logger. There's the log. C logger actually got changed. Didn't change it, right? It might have. Okay, I was just being blind, I guess. Managed to get to the wrong file. So I have all of the loggers. Right. So this is the part I was talking about. I need to have a list to go through. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, exactly. Very good morning. Let's have a list. So the benefit of a list is that I can iterate over it. You like it? Oh, I have a special. Oh, I did a thing. I did a thing we talked about yesterday. I have a Discord. I made an official Discord. Here it is in all its glory. Every time's community server. It has nothing in it. I created some channels, and that's it. Permanent link to Discord. I guess I was meant to pin this for future use. Where is it? Pin message. Done it. See? I'm doing things. I'm committed to this project, to following through, sticking with this idea. Whether you want it or not, whether you will participate or not, I will do it anyways. So, you know. And it's linked in my description thing in Twitch. So you can find the link there, how to join. You don't have to pause the stream and write down the link manually. Well, you can do it that way, but you know, there's the easier way. Right. Enable loggers. So yeah, this is supposed to do this nonsense. Well, not nonsense. Let's say for logger name in, what's the name of this? Oh yeah, I should assign it to something. C loggers. Right. So I have my array of loggers I'm gonna use. I have a method that's gonna initialize them. So for each of these, I wanna do this. So basically this will replace logger menu. So instead of this, right now, go back. It's a misclick, I swear. So yeah. So enable loggers. We'll just take all of these and enable them. to file handler. And I think the data handler as well should be done the same way. Why is it? Yeah, I've added these. Oh yeah, it should be done the same for the other thing, DH. Now the question is, does it actually know what those things are, or do I need to declare them? Maybe those should be parameters. Okay, it has to be accessed from here. Well, this method when initializing the configuration. Yeah, that is the thing that actually declares them. So let's assign them to self, DH and self, FH. So DH and FH is just different handlers. Stream handler, well, it means that it's stream, that's the thing that prints into the console, and file handler is just that prints into a logged file. Well, stream handler is important for development because you can see the output in your console, and file handler is important for when it's in production because that's how you monitor what's going on in the system, like I showcased a couple of times. Right, so now since those are declared assigned, I guess I can have them. I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's delete this. It starts complaining. Self file handler, self data handler. I name it like this. It should be stream handler, SH. Yeah, it is stream handler, and for some reason I call it DH. I have no idea. Okay, so now to access it everywhere, it has to have self in front of it. Self. Oh, this I'm not really sure about. I think this should be moved into enable loggers here, and I think, oh, actually, since it's one of the constants, yeah, so it will iterate over it anyways. So in netconfig we'll call, I think I need to call it enable loggers. So instead of writing them out here, I just call that method to initialize them. And then do I want them to be individually managed? Yeah, it would be cool if I could enable one logger and yeah, it would be really useful. For example, if something happens, like I see something is not working, or I get a report that something is not working, then what I can do, well, because I can't really look into what's going on in the live system, I can just enable one logger. Like if I know that one, well, I know which part of the code is supposed to handle it, but I don't want to have all the system printing out all the debug information about everything that's going on. I'm just interested in what one particular class is doing. So yeah, I guess when I read the configuration, I will have to set up in this, where is it, logging. Yeah, I guess it will be extra steps. So this logging config will have to have yeah, file logging level will not be enough. It will have to have for each handler. How can I do this? How can I do this in the most lazy way possible? Because now it requires me to add a lot of names. I guess. Can't really think of a good way, of a good, cheap, lazy workaround on the spot. So I guess I'll just have to stick with doing it kind of proper-ish. Because I would like to have a line in the configuration file with where I declare an array like this, with all the names. And inside, well, I could do this, but I lose the benefit of being able to access them like this, using singleton dot the hard way. It's not the hard way. It is still the easy way, in my opinion, but let's see. Hey, you joined Discord. Amazing, nice. I don't have any roles or anything announced. Oh yeah, I guess I need to. It's not properly set up. I just. Hey. See. This is a really good emote. It describes me so well. You can infer any emotion from this. Any emotion you like, you can project onto that emote, and it works perfectly for any situation. I love it. Right. So this is a good way to make enable, and I need the same thing for disable. Disable loggers. Actually, I should rename these. It shouldn't be disable enable, it should be add and remove, because that's what it will be doing. Add loggers would be more precise. This will be remove. And it's pretty much the same code. Like the logic is the same. I love coding because you can do things like that, and it's fine. And I use, well, you just copy paste a bunch of stuff. So yeah. Logging, remove, oh yeah. That's not what this is where it should go. Right. So for each logger I just remove them, because this is required. Well, you need to do it like this for the sake of updating the configuration, because I want it to be, well, damn. Right. An astronaut. I'm trying to remember. Damn it. Well, I slept for 4 hours this night, so you know it's right. What I was talking about? Trying to remember. I know. If I didn't get enough sleep, like the memory gets a little bit janky. So it doesn't take me long to get distracted, forget what I was going with. Well, I guess it wasn't. It's not all that more than just basic concepts about configuration. So adding. Oh yeah. So the concept I was going for is that configuration once loaded in cannot be adjusted. You need to remove it completely and create a new instance of it. So that's why th data handler. So if data handler, where does it actually get removed? Because I can see the remove here. So from logging, it removes this file handler. But the log is this variable. I kinda need to do this in a loop because I have a list now. This is the list. I guess everywhere well, this is initialized in at the beginning of each class because each class has its own logger. Well, not class, each module. No, not even module. Oh yeah, it is module. Package is something else. Package is package is a bunch of files. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. I'm mixing terminologies between different languages, so right. So here it is setting level, std out log level. Why is it setting it first before? My data handler gets assigned a value somewhere, doesn't it? Don't remember. Config. Yeah, so here it gets assigned handler, so it gets initialized here and sets, has the format assigned. File handler should have the same somewhere. Well, I guess it comes from here. So if it's logging to file, it takes this and this is a bunch of settings. So yeah, this is TF. Do I actually need to redo this each time? That formatter. So for file handler, it looks like this. And here, handler. Things these are different. Well, I guess the scope is different. Okay, if and else. And it doesn't have a format changed here, assigned. I guess if it's initially not created by default, yes, it makes sense. So, and here it removes it. It's disabled if I don't log into the file at all. If the configuration says not to log anything. Not sure why would it be like this. The weather is here so bad, no sun for a week. How about that? Oh, it is quite odd. Like, it is in the middle of January, like middle of the winter pretty much, and there's no snow left at all. And I actually was woken up by a rainstorm today. Well, it was raining like mad. And it's not, well, it is just above freezing. So today it will be, well, at least it's forecasted to be 6 degrees above zero, so 6 degrees Celsius, which is quite a lot, quite high for middle of the January. So, you know, it is very odd. Like, we don't really get that many sunny days in the winter. And it looks like it's gonna continue for a couple of days at least. So tomorrow yeah, maybe we'll get some clouds and some sun, and day after that, and it's forecasting rain again, which is how to do this in a nice way. Did you have a chance to think about any other projects we could work on? Because maybe we should work on something more simple than VPN right off the bat. Not really sure. I guess I should go from the beginning. Maybe I should extract anything to do with logging into a separate method. Because logging is kind of separate from everything, all the rest of the configuration. It's in a separate file as well, except test mode. Test mode is a setting that comes from the do not show on stream configuration file. Right. My brain has not reached its optimal state till now, plus the meds affect me bad way to like heaviness in the head. Oh, well. Okay, well, yeah, I guess it sucks. So I need 3-4 days to recover. Okay, well, that's fine. There's no rush. In the meantime, I guess, well, I still have plenty of work to do on this project, and eventually when it's I think I would have to mix in some streams. I will start investigating what it takes to make a VPN. Like, maybe a good idea would be to actually read up on how VPNs work in general. Just, well, start with the basics, like how, even though I have a good understanding of networks, how VPN works. That's a really nice way. Oh yeah, it shows all the, let's see, encryption connected VPN server, not encrypted. Well, it's not necessarily. Networking 101. Well, networking, yeah, I guess, like, well, just to revise, maybe, well, you know, stuff changes. Well, networking is kind of an established field at this point, like nothing, not much changed, I imagine. I guess if we haven't even gone to using IPv6, well, we're still mostly using IPv4, which is, you know, ancient at this point. But I guess it's fine. It doesn't really change all that much. It's just a way to address well, it's just a way to address machines in the network. So yeah, this is the basics, very basic. Like I would like something more detail. So it just shows the benefits and how. Do we have any explanation? See, this looks more interesting. Virtual private network in Wikipedia. This could be useful. Entry point, introduction point, VPN classification tree based on the topology first. Okay, let's look at this. Virtual private network provider provisioned VPN. VPN, customer provisioned VPN. Remote access, site to site. So these are different flavors of VPNs, I guess, depending on how they're set up. But I imagine they all work pretty much the same way. Let's see. Layer 2 VPNs, point to point. Virtual, no. VPWS. I wonder what that stands for. What's the full name? Multipoint to multipoint, virtual private LAN, IP only, LAN service. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of information to go. Well, I don't really have to know all of the details, but the basics would be good to revise. And where's the editor? And have somewhere on stream. Update config. Does it make sense to have set level here? Guess I can do that. No, actually it doesn't make sense. Does it? So the handler has the level, the log level, but I assign log level here like this on the logger itself. Why do I assign it on the handler as well? Don't you like this? Where is it? Set level. Okay, let's look at this. Set logging level for this handler. Level must be an integer or a string. What if I don't do this? Like, I don't think it's actually needed. Because as I said, I set the log level on the logger itself. Just logging level for this logger. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. Or maybe the handler has to have a logging level assigned to it. Okay, let's finish fixing all these errors and it should be fine. Right. Remove handler from the log. Do I want it removed from all the logs? I guess I need to remove all of them at the beginning of reading the log config. You know what? Let's extract the sol logging settings config parser read. Okay. Update logging configuration. Let's do this, and maybe check config. That is what calls the initial update config method, and in it only assigns initial values. So it creates the data handlers, adds all the loggers for the first time. Because when I will be updating, I will be removing them, changing their settings, and adding them again. Right. What should it go first or? Okay. Do like this. Update. Logging config. Yeah, so we define another method. Because it doesn't have to be inside, like there's no need to make it declare it, well, call it from the inside of update config. We can just have it here. And yeah, so everything, log debug. Yeah, the logging will still work. And test mode. Yeah, I guess I need to initialize the config parser again. But this time, instead of using the default file for configuration, I have... Oh yeah, I have... I declare the names. I declare them anywhere. self config or self login config file. Okay, so I think I have them. Oh, I don't have them, so I just need to know that they exist. Oh no, actually I do have them. Why doesn't it let me just show them? I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Something is not right. Self. Yeah, there it is. Login config file. Okay, well, I guess I will have multiple instances. It's not really an issue. It's not like I'm gonna have hundreds. Hopefully. Well, I guess I can have it translated to 100 languages, but I don't know. I'm not at that point yet, so let's leave it to be solved when it becomes a problem. Now, okay, test mode is kind of read from here. Maybe it has to be actually called from inside to know if test mode is enabled. Okay, let's have test mode. Let's have it like that. I don't like this capitalization. Test mode, and have it as bool. Now actually I will call it from here, because only here I know if test mode is actually a thing. Can I know this? I guess I need to load the configuration first, because it gets assigned to the local variable, so I can access it this way, like this, with self. Yes, I would be losing a little bit of initial logs, but no. Yeah, let's have this date config, so self date config. Doesn't really need test mode, it is actually accessible. What? Date login config, okay. Oh, I added it to the wrong method. I was supposed to add it here. Well, it doesn't really matter. Set update config, so it's already here. And my laptop sleep is really making my yeah, have very reduced capacity at the moment, and I can definitely feel that. Hopefully I won't make too many dumb decisions, because afterwards usually it means that you need to go back and rewrite the code you wrote. But hopefully this is thought through enough. It will be good enough. So now, well, I guess yeah, since it doesn't really change the location, so all of this has to do with logging, and the rest is not logging. Okay. So here, default log to file, space. Right. Where does it remove the... Yeah, let's just make sure it doesn't really have anything to do with logging. So database, trial days, bot ID. So that bot ID is actually the token that you get from, well, to log into as bot. So yeah, this is checks for this test mode. Test mode has its own database and Discord bot ID. Well, it can have a different one. Strings. Oh, so these are all. This is how it loads the labels. This will have to do next. You know, this is the theme of today's stream, is actually doing the localization, reworking localization, so I can support infinite amount of languages, not the ones I have now, without actually changing any code. I think it's done in that way already, but I wanna, well, instead of having all the configuration in one file, I will have a different file for different language. Well, I talked about this before, so don't really want to go back to it and repeat myself. Okay. So here, instead of remove one handler, I'll just call self remove. It's not the way to spell self. Remove loggers. Then I define new file handler. File handler should be done like this. So file handler, and then file handler gets assigned a formatter. Oh yeah, so file handler has if config parser. So yeah, this is the part for file handler, well, outputting logs into the file. So if it's test mode, and self file handler set level from test file, and self. Otherwise, it's not in test mode. Set level config parser from normal file log level. So, alright, so this is basically making a decision whether to load it from file log level or from test file log level. So we can have different values for these. And oh wait, this doesn't really make sense. Why does the file handler have a different level? Yeah, this is not the way to assign a log level. I want it to be assigned on a logger basis, not on the handler itself. So all of, well, this has to be commented out. And instead of add handler, I call the method that adds add loggers, so it adds all of them. Then, yeah, this was moved to add handler, so this method does all of that. This is some output. Config parse default file log level. Yeah, this will be changed. Right. I guess it depends. So this whole section is if I log. If I don't log to file, I just remove. Oh, I want to remove only file handlers. I guess I have to split this now into different methods. Or do I? Wait. Like, if I move it... Wait. I can move it out of the statement. So it removes both file handlers and data handlers, and like in this case you just don't have to remove, they already removed. So it doesn't add them. And here is the same, you just say that logging is disabled for the standard output, aka console. So this will work fine. So yeah, logging to file is done. This shouldn't be needed. I'll just leave it commented out for now in case it actually is needed, and I don't remember how file these loggers work exactly. Else if config parser. So if I go to standard output, they already removed, so I don't need to call this again, because I removed all of them here. And now set level. I don't think this should be needed. An add handler. Add loggers. Oh no, adding handler I think fine. Oh, but it adds. I think I messed up. I'm 90% sure I messed this up. I named them add logger and remove logger when it actually. I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's have other methods defined. Fine. I need to separate add std loggers. std do loggers and so I need a logger name. Yeah. It's a parameter. And this. Oh, actually. In this. Like this. It doesn't need a logger name. So, right. Do the same pretty much, just for file. File loggers. Oh, name. Well, the only difference is this line. And this method, I guess it's not really necessary. I'll just remove it. And instead of calling one method, I'll call both. Doesn't really show that it's missing any references. I never call it. Try. I called it. Call remove loggers. Init config should be calling it. Guess it isn't. Wait. Oh, add loggers. Yeah, now it doesn't even, for some reason. Okay. Add file loggers. I mean, it's a little bit odd that it doesn't figure out immediately that the reference no longer exists, so the method definition is gone. And yeah, now we just do the same, but for removing. Yeah, copy paste. Instead of adding, I remove. Add file. Instead of add, we have remove. Remove. Yeah, so I have simple bite-sized method, well, one-liners pretty much. do the same thing for the most part, but it will be a lot more readable in my opinion. So if you're going through this, you will kind of see what's going on a little bit better. And now I can call them individually, which was the whole point. So here I remove, before I configure file logging, I remove file loggers, and here add, when I'm done configuring, I'm adding them, add file loggers. And the same goes STD, so for standard output. Now I remove them, self, remove file loggers, and here add file loggers. Filter, nope. File loggers. Oh. Self. Right. So the basic idea, this should think. Well, at least it's not complaining that can't find the reference. Translation. Okay, this we'll have to implement next. I think the logging should be done now. Object has no DN. Oh, it's not self, it's just DN. I think that's... Oh yeah, I was supposed to move these out. I forgot about that. Oh, I never defined these. Damn it. Now I forget what was their definition. Didn't I do that in here in netconfig? Yeah. So how is it? There's no DN. What? Does this not get called? Okay, what the singleton new bot? It calls initconfig. Initconfig calls add loggers. And add loggers complains that doesn't have DN. Okay, this doesn't make sense because DN is here, gets assigned a value. Okay, I guess I'm being dumb somehow. Oh, so I would say power for the course, I guess. So let's look. Oh, it doesn't have a thing. Okay, window show view. Gonna see variables. Can I actually move them here? Okay, self. It has DN and FH. Okay, let's continue. And now we step inside. And self still has DN and FH. Singleton object has an attribute DN. What? Maybe it wants me to declare them here. Let's see. Let's do dn. And what type it should have? Or do I initialize them? Singleton handler is stream handler. Okay. Make it stream handler. I don't think that's the right package. Maybe it is. Okay, so and fn will be, what was it, rotating file handler? Yeah, rotating file handler. I think both of them are defined. Oh no, it is defined in handlers. Okay. So I need to change these references now. And then do it in a different way, but it's good enough. And here the assignment now goes to the appropriate variable. And file handler doesn't get assigned a formatter. Sound right? Let's do the same for file handler. Okay. Let's run it again. Still, the object doesn't have I am a little bit baffled. So singleton gets created, gets initialized here. Here it complains that it doesn't have the attribute. What? Why? How? Yeah, this doesn't really make sense. At least it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, so actually gets here. Okay, F6. Self is an object. Okay, it doesn't let me use values now. Yeah. I think something is wrong with my okay, let's restart Eclipse because I can't really explain what's going on, why it's behaving like this. It is really odd. Singleton menu helper. So I can close everything to the right. Currently only editing this file. It's as if maybe So previously this worked fine, and now if I try to do this with other values, it doesn't want to work. Okay, let's try running it again because I still get the same error. I am baffled. Detected variables. Somehow it doesn't like this. Let's see. And it suddenly doesn't want to show values. What? Don't really understand this implementation, this new. Guess this is messing with it somehow. Wait, did add file loggers worked fine? So if fn works, dn doesn't. Am I assigning the wrong... am I using the wrong thing? Wrong class? Okay, let's ignore this. Well, not this. Up until here it works fine, and here it suddenly doesn't. Logger name, handler. Like, this is same thing. So it adds and removes. Okay, let's comment this out and see what happens now. Okay. Stack overflow, amazing. Maximum. Maybe I shouldn't log the beginning. Let's look at the file output. Yeah, it's not logging to file anymore, is it? Yeah, it doesn't look like it is logging to file at all. So init config works now. It crashes on check config. Check config, update config. Oh. Okay, it has nothing to do with logging. So it calls itself now, that's the issue. Okay, that's that's dumb. Okay, now Oh, this took me way too long to realize what's going on. Yeah, it has to update logging config. Yeah, this is what I actually need to be calling here. Still don't really understand. So yeah, now it works. Well, it works as in it logs to the file. It doesn't. Logging work at all? Let's see. See anything? It should have crashed in my opinion. Yeah, it crashed. It doesn't find the languages now. But that's what you would expect. But logging doesn't work at all. Neither to the file, neither to the... Maybe I have to set the log level on the handlers. Yeah, this is not correct anymore. Let's not rush. Let's fix these first. So file handler is actually right now. So when I add them, Git config, initiate config, yeah, here. So add file loggers worked fine, add std out loggers didn't, and this is kind of baffling. I must be missing something very obvious. Oh, they are pretty much identical methods. It goes through the same array. Look at the crash again. Single has no attribute dn. That's just not the case. How can it be? It doesn't have the attribute. Like it Okay, let's not define it here. Let's have it hidden somewhat. Maybe this definition is throwing it off. I don't know at this point. Okay, it still has the same complaint. I am lost at this point. This is where it gets assigned a value. Maybe I should assign a value here, not in the method itself. If I do this. Because it will have the same value at any point. Like it's not gonna change. Will this change anything? Yeah, it doesn't change anything. It just doesn't see the value for some reason. Is it in a different instance or anything? Or something? Like this is in the same class, like there's nothing else. I'm baffled. Hmm. Wait, log? Guess I can define the log inside the class itself. Oh yeah, singleton. Well, I'm not using it. Well, it's not gonna be used. Well, it crashes way before this, where it tries to set the level for the handler. I am stumped. And the funny part is, file handler works. It only doesn't work with this handler. Like, that's what the part that like doesn't make sense to me. Like this code works, and this doesn't. Found in singleton. Logging. Get logger, then logger name, which he gets out of the array. Add handler. What? And this doesn't exist, but this exists. Oh, this even maps it to here. What? This doesn't get maps? Oh, if this is fn. Wait, no, this was dn. Okay. I think I found the problem. I think I was just blind. This reminds me of another stream. Very, very reminiscent. So DH, FH. So yeah, this is where it assigns values to the actual variables. Oh. I guess this should be fine as well. Suddenly it doesn't crash and it works. And it even logs the things like it's supposed to. Blind is an understatement, I would say. So default handler can be declared here as well. I don't really need to initiate it. Right. I do it here. Oh, it's just like initial values. Add file and the blindness H, and then how I managed to typo this. I am I am astounded at my own ability to mess stuff up. But now it works. It works as I expected. The only thing that's left is actually setting the configuration, like the log levels, different log levels for different. Okay, so update config is currently not very interested in it, and translations not yet. So initialize. I use here to set the log level. I guess I currently log level is where is it, log, and where do I actually set its level? Do I set its level anywhere? Let's log a bunch of messages. Log info. So I don't really set its level anywhere. Well, I have log level here, like this, but I don't really want to do it like that. Right. Guess I can set it as a default for now. Even though log level is set up. I don't think I will lose any output. I think it just doesn't have it. Does have the format of singleton when it's init config. So this is the first entry I get. So yeah, it does have the format set at this point, and all the loggers initialized. I guess it doesn't really matter that it logs everything at first. Or does it? Well, a singleton is the only one that actually has anything to output. So I guess this is the log level that's gonna be used. Setup for startup. So I guess I can have a little bit of debug output at the launch. Well, every time I launch the application. Okay, so that's not really a problem. Logging level, well, it comes from the source code, so don't feel the need to specify that. Right, and here, logging configuration, that's where I will be changing the values. Well, since each value... Actually, how can I do this? I think I can do it in like a similar way like this, writing it into a loop. Yeah, just set levels, and I pass on the what's the section, which has all the values. The only thing is singleton logger, and the syntax will have to be, where is it? Init. Yeah, here. So yeah, forget about these file log levels. File and log. I will have to have log levels defined for each logger. So let's see, I have all of these loggers, so singleton logger, level, a level, bug, then main logger, level equals bug. And all of this to have the ability to change log level while the application is running. I think this could be info for now. I don't think I even care if to have different values for test and production. Maybe I should. Yeah, I think I should. Yeah, let's attach test at the beginning then. Test. What I meant? And for production, I'll just have everything set to info. That's the thing. Because I will forget, that's the problem. I will forget to reset them before deployment. I will probably even forget to set it not to set test mode to false. Right. So all of this. So if I'm logging to file, I'll always be logging to file, but in case I don't. Oh yeah, this is if I log to the file. So I get the formatter, add file loggers, and then I need a method to self set logger levels. And now I wanted to have with certain parameters. So for one, it does have a prefix. So since test, I think I will have it indicate test and prod for production. Okay. So it will have prefix prod. Then I need the logger, not the logger, config parser. Read configuration file, then get boolean. There's the section. I think there's an example read trans case here. There should have configure sections. Yeah, I don't really want to go through the section. I want to get a specific section. Oh, this is, yeah, config parser default. Because I'm not gonna have any other sections. I could. I don't really. I don't think that's necessary. Could just have a test section and but that I would have to have all the values for testing and for production. Like everything would be duplicated. Do I care about that? std out, so these won't be needed anymore. Test file log level and file log level. Let's see, std out enabling output into the log file and location, maybe. Guess it's not too much to ask. So let's have test and Well, probably first. Sure, we should go first. Let's have it prod. I'm changing so much. So it will be make it a little bit simpler. So let's move this up and remove this prod part now. Amazing, I written it a minute ago, now I'm deleting it. Right, singleton logger level. Well, it doesn't really matter that these settings are duplicated. It will just give me a flexibility to change it on my if I want to suddenly change the log file, like I find it's too big or too small, I can easily change it on either, and if I'm changing it on my development environment, it won't affect the production and vice versa. And it will make it easy to copy because you just copy the values. The fields are the same name. Yeah, I think that's a good way to set it up. And now, where is it? Here. Yeah, set log levels will. I'll take config parser, and I think this is how I see prod. Is that its name? Yeah, prod. So it will take this section, and it will pass. Well, it will be a dictionary. Let's see. Well, yeah, this is access like dictionary within a dictionary, so this is a dictionary. It just has to have prod, so it's not all dynamic and flexible. It has hard-coded strings in it, which is frowned upon, but I'm kind of okay with that in this case. Right. And I think that's it. I don't really need anything else. Yeah, these are separate than file. File logging is one thing. So adding these handlers. Maybe I could have changed, like, the only thing that's different is the handler, so I guess I can optimize this as well. Remove loggers and okay, so we'll do that as well. Well, I guess my lack of sleep is quite obvious here. Instead of writing one method that accepts a parameter that needs to be added or removed, yeah, I wrote two methods which are pretty much identical. Well, let's see. Fine. Set log levels, and it accepts one parameter which will be section. So for logger in C loggers, I'll just take the logger by this get logger. For consistency's sake, I will do the same. Logger name, and now set level equals section logger name. Seems about right. Maybe this, well, this affects all the loggers. I guess if it doesn't really matter if I'm logging to file or to the console unless I'm not logging anywhere. I guess I'll just do it at the very end. I'll set all the log values. Oh, actually, where does it check? Is it? Hmm. How did I solve this? Test mode? Yeah, I guess I need to test. Oh wait, I have access to it. Self-test mode. And I think I don't really check the value. Yeah, it's here. You need to have a separate thing here. If self-test mode, then I do this. Oh, actually it's in else. And if it's test mode, I load test settings. Oh, semicolon. I log to the file, I do this. Okay. Hopefully this works. Oh yeah, now I can, guess I can test first of all if it works. So currently I have it set it up, so okay, to test it, for the test configuration, singleton. Let's see, it starts with singleton, printing out a bunch of stuff, and nothing else pretty much. Let's make singleton an info level, see what happens. Okay, it doesn't find something. Config parser, log to file. Oh, it doesn't have the default anymore. Yeah, completely forgot about this. So it's now conditional if it's test mode or in production mode. I guess I just need to move all of this code in one of these brackets and that's it. So all of this. How should I arrange this? I guess it will have to be split again into different methods. But first of all, let's fix this nonsense. H. About like this. Refer it locally. Oh, just H. Or LH. Log handler. Log handler here. Actually, I am saving characters, like if if they cost money. Handler. Okay. Add loggers. Yeah. Okay. So here now instead of file, add loggers. Self DH. Same with FH. So this combine method. File is the out, set log levels. Yeah, this could be changed as well. Loggers. Handler. I feel like I'm messing something up again. Oh, I guess the time will tell. I feel like I lost something important along the way. Yeah, this is not called. Where is it? Initialization. Here. I didn't have add loggers. Oh, this is just to be removed. That's it. And remove loggers is also implemented. So remove. It's supposed to be called somewhere around here. Oh. Remove, where is it? Oh yeah, it was here at the file, remove file loggers. That's no longer exists. Remove loggers. And I pass on file handlers. So self file handler. Here remove file loggers. But let's call it twice. I thought I removed this. Oh. Yeah, this calls the wrong method. Okay, remove. So many errors. Self and H. Yeah. And this is add. Yeah, both are. I guess I just copy pasted without thinking. Add loggers, and this is for file handler, self file handler. This is add logger, and it's a standard output. Self DH. Okay, I remove them here, I add them here. For file, it gets defined, then set formatter. Where do I set log levels? So, oh, log levels are set after. So yeah, I can disable or enable. Right, so this was a long road, took long-winded way, but I think I'm done at this point. Well, at least with logging. Log. Right. I didn't fix this. Where is it? So here it shouldn't be. Oh yeah, I had to do this still, to extract this into a different method. Fine. Maybe I can extract something out. Well, I guess let's make it into a separate method, then we can see if there's a way to make it combine them into one method, like we did with these. Oh, so remove logger, remove std log. So yeah, this can be removed as longer it's needed. So I have a way to add a logger, remove a logger, and set log levels. Yeah. Now I need a way to set other settings. Let's have file log handler. I think that's descriptive enough, and it takes a section. So all of this if else will now be moved. Well, probably can just. Actually, I should define that I call itself set file log handler. Section is config parser. Oh wait, I have to move it to the later section. But actually here in the it's in test mode. Pass on this config. At this point I might as well just section do this, save on duplicative code. All of this gets moved out of the if statement. And section by default gets assigned a production value. So prod prod. In case it's in the song so much. Wish you could skip this. Let's listen to something else. House. Right. Yeah, so section gets by default set to production unless it's test mode and gets assigned a test. So this no longer is needed. And here, instead of I just set section, whatever is assigned, it will be passed on. Right. Set logger, set file log handler, set logger levels, set file handler section. Right. So if it's default, it no longer matters. You just take this and move it inside. And the good thing about this will be that instead of this, all of this config parser default will get changed, replaced by section, because it is a dictionary, it's the same thing. Make this a little bit more concise, a little bit less redundant. It's always good. Well, that's this is good for maintainability mostly, because it will be easier to change something, like to change the behavior. So you always want to aim for that. Right, add logger, set formatter. So this is just adds information. the whole thing was here. Section log file, section file size. So yeah, this is all just all it does. Initiates this, sets the formatter to the file handler, then adds loggers, which is here. And loggers get removed before that. So remove loggers. Let's see. I guess I want to check if I actually need to log there. Ah. I forgot about that part. Okay. Let's add this. And in that case, it gets moved on into the if. Config parser. So this section. Now the evaluation. Log to file is currently set yes. Okay, it used the method that's provided by the parser. Get boolean. Let's see its description. Fallback and set returns get on. So I guess it converts it somehow. Get. Okay, it is a complicated mess that I don't want to get into. I kinda like using ones and zeros. Bum, 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 bum. I guess there is no reason I can't use the method. It's not really a dictionary. Is it a dictionary? Oh yeah. Can I actually parse, give it a... Oh yeah, it has to have an a section. And then the option as strings. Section. See. Actually mention it anywhere? No. So when it gets a section. Okay, it gets back to this and section. The default is special. They're all special. Okay, option. Must be a dictionary. So vars has to be a dictionary. Option is looked up in vars if provided. And in default section, the other in that order. So vars is a dictionary, so I can pass on a dictionary and an option. So section, if vars is provided, it must be a dictionary. The option is looked up in vars, then section, and vars is provided, then section, and default section in that order. Okay. So if I read this correctly, Let's see. It's time to let's try breaking this. So I actually can keep doing this config parser get boolean, but instead of all of this, well, I have the option, so this will be option. And oh, then it has to have vars, which will be section. It's a little bit confusing because the dictionary's name is section. And config parser, does it have to be an instance? I guess it does. Might as well just do this. Config parser. One who calls this should have a config parser, I imagine. It has a config parser here. I don't think it's gonna be called anywhere else. So let's do this. Right. Okay, log to file didn't have. So now this should find a log to file in this section that got extracted. Okay, now it still complains about it. Remove logger. So now it gets hung up on this spot. Oh, I guess this is the same spot, which is no longer needed. Loggers. Also file log handlers, and then I will have the same thing for... Can I move it up? Let's try it. I actually want to know if it actually works. Oh, the section is not known. Okay, so I can't move it up. So it has to be like this, and for now this could be... So it's now it doesn't find std out. Okay, so complaining about different variable. If this works, we'll just do the same for this as well. Okay, doesn't have test mode, so I think test mode. It doesn't have one because it doesn't get signed a value. So self-test mode should be read before in the initialization. So config file. Yeah, I guess it isn't actually set anywhere. So it checks the file exists. Okay, check config, update logging. Oh, update config is the one that sets the value, because it uses the... What's its name? The other config file. So it uses generic config file. So I guess I need to do it the other way around. Update config and login config. Login config should go after that, so it would know what kind of mode it's in. Well, Okay, now it doesn't find something else. Singleton logger. Key error. Singleton error. Singleton logger doesn't exist in... Oh yeah. Forgot that logger name is not to add level. Let's just like this because I'm lazy. Again. Get boolean, missing one required argument, section. So yeah. Needs section to be set. Okay, let's see. Section is... I have no idea. Default. Oh. It's a string. Right, run it again. By log level. So it claims that there isn't file log level. Key error. File log level. Oh, I don't know. I removed it. That's why it's not there. It's not used anywhere. Log file. File size. All the relevant information about logging. Okay. Save it. Run it again. And it lives again. It's unbroken. So since that worked and the logging seems to be happening, singleton. I guess I initiate the logging very late. I kinda wish I had the test mode figured out before that, so I can set up appropriate logger right off the bat. I guess I can just assume initial value. Test mode to be true. Actually, maybe it should be false. Yeah, just have it false because, well, most of its life it will be false. And yeah, actually have the logging enabled before that. Terminate this. Okay. We go data check config singleton. Yeah, so it doesn't output anything because by default the debug mode, well, test mode is false, and if we make it true, we'll get a lot more. Hopefully, I didn't. Does it even mean anything? Oh wait, aren't these the same now? Info, debug, info. So the the only difference is menu. So let's make test debug, because we're currently debugging singleton. So okay, restart it again. Still no change. Test mode is true. Here in test section it is enabled. Singleton logger level is this. I think I messed something up assigning the log levels. Okay, at log levels, logger name, get logger, logger name, and then it gets the name as logger name plus level at the end. I kinda don't like this. I'm not sure if it's worth having. Yeah, it's probably not worth having. Let's remove this. Looks dumb. Logger name, change all of these. Will be, well, it is quite obvious what these are. Oh, yeah, same here. It's also a good way to introduce bugs that work well, that what's the word I'm looking for? That get exposed in production. Right. Not in test environment. Well, I guess that's the price of this sort of flexibility. Let's see. Well, but the naming makes it so it's very easy to copy paste and replicate the same values, so it's not a huge problem, it's just something to keep in mind. Okay, file log handler. Take a section. Right. The section could be none. Can I pass none? This work? It can't be none. Well, default doesn't even exist in the here, so it's a little bit annoying. Yes, that's what I get for using the parser's get boolean method. The sun has started shining. This is a little bit unexpected. Add file handler loggers. Add file log handlers. Guess I will be removing them. Oh. What happens if I call the remove twice? Because that can happen. Let's see, where do I actually call the removal? Remove loggers. Okay, let's do this twice and see what happens. If it crashes, then yeah, we need to handle that special case. Oh, it doesn't. I guess it's fine then. Because if I launch, well, if the application is running and it reloads the configuration again, and again it's disabled, then it will just remove non-existing loggers, which, oh, what it is, I guess. Well, it's kind of unavoidable, the way it's written now. As long as it doesn't introduce any problems, kinda fine with it. So I get a section, I remove everything here. The removal can be moved as well into the file log handlers. I can do it here. And this this commented out section will be moved into the new method, including the removal. Okay. Set section config parser. Take all of this, move side handler instead of this. Same syntax here. Yeah, now these methods are becoming very similar, so pretty sure there will be a way to combine them into one method and take something as a parameter. Like the main difference is the way I initialize. At low, add loggers, data handler. And for setting levels, set logger levels. So this is for adding loggers. Oh, I guess I never actually set levels. That explains why changing the files don't have any effect. Yeah, that would do it. I guess it's it's very natural to get methods down to like one single function. Yeah, this is getting to the point where it's no longer readable, in my opinion, because everything is hidden behind the values, well, parameters. Kind of annoying. Right. Well, when you're trying to understand what's going on. At least the labels, like the names, seem to be quite self-explanatory. Here, I do not have. I guess it doesn't actually need to be initialized compared to this. Get its format assigned. Here it is. Oh, except since it doesn't get recreated again, so it doesn't really need to be reset. And file handler actually gets well, you get a new instance. Okay, well, I guess I won't be combining them into one method because this one will be a lot simpler. Loggers, add loggers. Maybe this could be moved into the add loggers. So there won't be a need to call remove loggers at all. Yeah, if I can just call a remove method for that. So when I'm adding, I just remove it first and then add it. Because if it doesn't exist, it doesn't throw any errors or anything. Right. Set logger levels, that hasn't been done yet. And loggers. Self set. Oh, actually set logger. Logger levels. And yeah. No, actually it is getting called, but in update logs, update configuration, update logging configuration, that's where it should be called. Yeah, set logger levels, so it is being called here. This get parse, get boolean, and it's not bracket, no. This. Set levels will be done separately. Now about the remove, add loggers. How many times it's getting called? The only place like it only once will be called without the need to being replaced, so I guess I can sacrifice that. Call it unnecessarily once. To not have these methods at all. So what I'm talking about is this. Remove logger. Yeah. And I no longer call to remove. Where was it? So remove this. File. Was I getting a call? Oh, okay. Right. Make it more how it's supposed to be. Okay, now it's starting to look like proper proper code, somewhat. Now it just, yeah, the main thing if it actually works. Okay. So I get debug in singleton, which is great. That's what I was expecting. Some info messages. Oh, so yeah, test mode is enabled. Okay. What if I change the singleton being info? Now it should print a lot less. It didn't. So test singleton info. Pam, 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 pam. Main log, so it gets initialized twice. Once with test mode being false and then test mode being true. Yes, okay. Just for the flexibility of oh yeah, this code is what actually keeps track of when was the last time it was updated. Yeah, this is the actual. That's what was the stream was supposed to be about, and I guess it was about still about logging, and I still don't feel like I'm done. Bug. I guess it doesn't really have date config. It has info when test mode is enabled. Guess it doesn't really matter if it's test config or not. Oh yeah, it will try to connect to the database a different way. I guess it doesn't connect to the database just to start it. So let's have it like this. This says that test mode is enabled. Okay, now I need to figure out what I made, what's the... What did I miss? Because for the most part it should be fine. So let's go through the thing again. That formatter, okay, add logger. So this is what initially adds a logger, so enables. So, and the default configuration is add remove handlers, okay. Test logging. Oh yeah, test log level. Set level here. So it is set to debug, so it will print out everything when it starts until it gets changed. Okay, that's fine. Shouldn't take all that long. So config, log config file. If either don't exist, then show an error. So this is just initial checks. Okay. Doesn't really initiate all that much. After initiate, it calls check. Pretty sure, or is it update? It calls check. Check is the one that keeps track when the file was updated, and it's always gonna be, well, initially it's 0, so it always, well, the current value of the time edited will be greater. So it should announce that config outdated, yeah, so that's what gets done here. And initially I update logging. So logging to file enabled, because in the configuration it says yes, both cases. Well, initially let's see. File. So test mode is initially disabled. So section is actually production. So it loads production values initially. I guess to indicate the difference, can change this. Logs. Prod log. Actually, I don't want to mess with production logs. Test log. Right. Now, let's run it again. It stops. It initially loads the test log. And test log again. Why is that? I set it to false. No, test mode is true. Okay, then something is missing. Let's get back. Where did I stop? Sheet and check. Okay. Config outdated. Right, logging to file is enabled. Config parser section should be at production. Hey, thank you for the follow. I wasn't aware that you that someone was watching. Okay, I need to make a breakpoint here because this doesn't make sense. Test mode should be set to true. Oh no. I'm an idiot. Should be false by default. Actual idiot. I'm confused why it's not working the way I expect. I guess that's why you need to check. It all should be working, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't. So yeah, it gets log main, so it has the configuration from the production side initially, and then when it updates the configuration, well, wait. Why am I doing it twice? I think I can get away without this, because I don't actually need... Do I need it? Damn it, no. Yeah, because it does call update config whenever it realizes what kind of mode it's in. So I would be losing like three lines first time I run. This is no longer a thing at all. Std out log level, like, can I remove this? Oh, it's still in the hidden file. Oh, not. Where does it get this value from? I guess it doesn't even get to log it, because logger is disabled at that point. So this is dumb and unnecessary. Config parser read. Yeah, config file. This will never get printed, I imagine. Well, it will get printed the second time round. Yeah, so update config doesn't do anything for the first time. I guess it won't do if I disable this, because it will get called in the update config method anyways. So yeah, won't be any of this double nonsense. Yeah, so now it's only done once, and it logs the correct config regardless of what the initial value is. Easy. And I don't even need to assign anything here. It can be actually clear like everything else. Okay. Damn, this got simplified quite a lot. Like compared to what this mess used to be, like this is quite neat, I might say, if I may say so myself. Let's see. Yeah, I'm really I'm really happy about how this is turning out. The singleton, I think it gets set up with a default log level. Oh, this is the wrong file. Yeah, the default is debug. So initially when it starts, it just logs everything in singleton. Well, it doesn't really get added init config. Well, it is get added here. Okay, so I'm done. Just gets added by default. So I don't even lose any output. It just the difference is that initially it's in debug, which it's not a problem if it initializes as debug, prints a couple of lines, and then switches to proper level. Okay. So let's see, init config is called initially. So it prints out this stuff. Add logger, set formatter. Why does this not get printed out then? I don't really need this in that case, because it will get assigned a value. This is just for default logging setup. Well, since this doesn't even get logged, so no point in having it at all. Okay, let's run it again. It didn't break, but now nothing gets out. Oh, this might be an issue. Because I thought it passes around the same instance. Yeah, it might be that it after updating I will need to request a new instance. Okay, well, let's finish this refactoring thing first. Wait, it doesn't even print out anything now. What else did I change? Oh, I didn't set the level. Okay. So this has debug. Okay, what do we have set in the configuration? It should be info. Okay. So this is set on a logger. We do the same then, so I guess it doesn't really update it on the fly. Okay, let's look at the spaghetti code. Let's look at the nightmare that I started with. See how it accomplished it there. Okay, where's the initialization? Let's see, log. Oh, this is horrible and terrible and horrible again. Okay, the log is actually used quite a lot of places, and set level is done here. Now the question is, if log gets initialized again, don't really see it. Doesn't get reassigned as far as I can tell. At least in the update config, well, old version of update config, init config, and check config. So it should work, but it doesn't. Yeah, I guess it's time to, well, I guess I need to go through the code again. Read it normally, because well, apparently I didn't miss anything from the old implementation. Unless I managed somehow to mess this up. So it is in the loggers array, which is used to set levels. Just sanity check. Add loggers, set levels. So it goes through the array, sets appropriate level from the section by logger name, which is singleton logger. This is info in both production and test sections. Right. set log level is called here after updating, well, in the update login config, and everything else is done. Ah. Maybe this didn't actually work in the old version. Maybe I'm just imagining. Maybe I intended it to work like this and never actually got to a state where it was working. It's been so long, I don't remember how it actually happened. Let's see. So let's test the theory that I need to initialize log again. But here I remove the handler. Add logger. Where is it? Add logger. So here I remove it and add it again. This should reset it. But after that, I might need to do... Let's see. So this is for file handler, this is for data handler. Here it gets called again to initialize all of that. Init config, so I guess this is where the actual logging starts. So it reaches the end, this. Then it goes into check config. Checks if the file has been outdated. Okay, it states it was outdated, so it calls update config. Here is where update config starts. Okay, starting update config. Logging to file enabled. Yes, it goes set log file handler. Yes, this doesn't even have an input. Oh, guess I could add these methods, make it kind of useful. Well, not methods, these calls to log something. Like this. So gets to set file log handler. File log handler. So I set the level before I add and remove handlers. Well, I remove and then add them again. Maybe I need to remove, update, and then add them? Okay, let's continue reading before making any assumptions. Too many assumptions. So log to file is enabled. Oh, I'm dumb. Those exes are stupid. Hey. I might be. So add loggers removes and adds them. Get logger. Logger set level. This is not the correct way to set level. Yeah. Okay, Okay, that took me a while to figure out. Oh, dumb but extra stupid. That's my style. Now it actually gets into info level. Don't all the... This it looks like. It login config and it starts and it never finishes. Okay, update logging config, let's see. Logging config, so it has start in debug and end in debug. And it only prints start because in between its level gets changed from debug to info. Easy, easy. Never doubted. I guess the lack of sleep, like, so this is the struggle with the lack of sleep, is that you miss obvious things quite easily. Even though you know the general idea what you should be doing. Login config, it's all done. Yeah. And I guess the file, the localization actually will have to be done the next stream. Yeah, the localization goes... Yeah, the localization part is this, pretty much. It's nothing special, but it won't work now, because it's actually not in the same configuration file. So this section, like the sections in the actual do not show this on stream config doesn't have the translations anymore, so it needs to initialize. Well, first of all, what it needs to do, yes, I can do it. It's getting quite delayed though. I think I will make a lot of mistakes if I try doing it right now, and it will take another hour to debug everything. Let's see, how does the log file look like? Hey, it actually has an output. The last run, logging to file enabled. Yeah, that's cool. That's where it should start. It says that logging is enabled and it's in debug. I think that's how it's set up. Date config. Has the start, has the end, check config end. And check config doesn't have a start because it starts before it knows that it needs to be logging into the file. Okay. Easy. So I guess this is logging 101 or something. It's struggling with logging with every. I guess this is that should be the name. I should change the name of the stream while I can. Refactoring logging again. Yeah, let's change that. Where is my dash thing? Update title. Okay, localization didn't happen. So this is just for the, well, someone will want to see this as a reference. Refactoring logging configuration. Python. Oh, C. Okay, it has been changed, updated here on both places. That's good. Eclipse. And yeah, tomorrow I'll have to do this. Well, I'm not sure if I will stream this evening, but I'll see how I'll feel. Usually if I don't sleep all that well, in the evening I'm brain dead, so maybe I'll just stream a game. Maybe not, I probably won't stream at all. Yeah, that's probably the most logical thing to do. And now... yeah, I guess I just go make lunch and do some other stuff. Tomorrow. I think tomorrow I will continue tomorrow morning. I will do some more refactoring. I guess I need to start announcing my schedule somewhere. I knew that I didn't finish with configuration loading beforehand. Yeah, I'm really happy about this, because this looks a lot better than, yeah, whatever this is. I think it was split in a couple of, oh no, it wasn't actually split. But instead of this, and having only one logger, we have a bunch of loggers. And it config is general for everything. So yeah, the code became a lot cleaner. Std out handlers, file log handlers. These are kind of the same, very similar, but I don't think it's worth trying to combine them. They're a little bit too different. Yeah, really happy with this. I think it turned out really well. Right. But yeah, for now I'm done. Well, I thank only my thank you to Cyborg Mario MCTV is a little bit lackluster. I wish I knew he was watching. I would have pitched him my idea. Maybe he is interested in programming in general. But yeah, well, this is what it is. Maybe he will come back later on. I'll have a chance to to try and sell him on doing some programming himself. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm done for now, so